Okay, first up, a size comparison. So, this is a Victorinox Spirit X multi-tool. It's around the same size as this, and notice the handles are slightly curved, a little bit like that. Right, so that is a size comparison with that Victorinox. I measured this. The total length is around 4.15 inches. Now I also weighed this multi-tool on the old Multitool scale. It was 8.8 ounces in this configuration. And as you swap tools in and out, the weight will change slightly. Okay, so there is a group shot with all the tools that my prototype came with. Hey, what's up YouTube? Today I have a multi-tool review, the Roxon Flex, okay? Now I currently keep it in this tin. This is actually a prototype, okay? So it did not come with any instructions, it did not come with a pouch, and the production model might be slightly different than this prototype. But they sent this to me to show to you, to get feedback, and just an initial review and impressions. Alright, so the Roxon Flex. Now this is the multi-tool that people have been waiting for. This is a fully customizable multi-tool, meaning you can swap all of these implements in and out of the frame of this multi-tool. So you see it's got a pocket clip. It's got your typical multi-tool pliers. Now to splay out the tools, just press the switch this way, and there they are. All right, so let's see, what do I have on this side right now? Right, so I have a cutting hook, I have a reamer awl, I have a small serrated blade. This is a multifunction tool. It's got like a wire notch, wire stripping ability, and this is a wood saw. So the middle position is a locked position. So this is now locked. This is a secondary lock. If you press this, now you cannot move the first lock. Right, so now this is double locked. Right, now if you want to disengage that lock, you pull the switch that way, right? Like that. Now it's disengaged. Now, how to exchange tools? Well, it's very easy. All right, push this forward, pick out your tool. Now, you push this switch that way, right? Push it that way, and then you can just remove the tool, right? And to put another tool in, right? Again, you just put it that way, and put it to the middle, right? And now it's back on, right? So that is super easy. So once again, just pull it this way, and it'll come right out. So for example, if you wanted to replace that hook with this, which is a file, as well as a little screwdriver and the depth gauge, right? It's a ruler, right? So if you wanted to put that there, right? You just put it in like so. You see that? And so now it's in there. All right, now it's in there. See, there is the notch on the partial tang of the tool. So that actually, right, that actually fits into there, and that's how it locks it. And when it unlocks, it lifts that up out of the notch, and it disengages the lock, right? So that's how the lock works. It is pretty amazing that they actually did this. I mean, it's easy to request something like this. We've all heard that request like on the forums for the last decade at least, right? A lot of people have thought of this. But it's one thing to think of it, and it's another to have a company, you have people sitting around the table, and they're saying, what should we do? What's the next step? I say, well, people want a fully customizable multi-tool that they can just configure at home, And they said, okay, call the head engineer, call the master machinist, call everybody, tell them to design that. And they did. That's pretty amazing. I gotta say, if Leatherman had done this, people would be buying these for like $300. Like seriously, if Leatherman did this, people would be buying them for $300. And in France and Germany, $500 or $600. I'm not exaggerating. The prices are that high over there. There's a huge markup over there. And what do I have on this side? Well, currently we have a bunch of screwdrivers as well as a bottle opener, a can opener, and for the longer tool, all right, hold on, I gotta be careful. You'll see why. You'll see why I say that. Because here I have, it's a scalpel. Yes. Now it does not come with that blade. It comes with the scalpel holder. Right, so I had to install that scalpel blade for all your dissection needs, or for skinning, or for something medical. So here is how I have it set up currently. This is just one example, right? Look at all the options and abilities that all those tools would give you. Now this does have 2 slots for longer tools, currently occupied by the scalpel holder and the wood saw. But wait, you have a lot more options for those longer tools. All right, you have a file, double-sided, you have scissors, a serrated blade, and a plain edge blade. Right, so those are the options you have for those longer tool slots, but they will probably be making more. You're going to have a different configuration if you're going out like bushcrafting than you are if you're going to let's say work a day at the factory, right? Like I would use the wood saw for notching and so forth in bushcraft, right? But if I was in like a factory or a garage or something, I'd be much more likely to use the file. But wait, we still are not done. It also came with these smaller tool options. Right, now I definitely know what some of these are, right? The fish scaler. But this did not come with any instructions or diagram, so we're going to have to wait for the production model to come out to see what they call each of these tools, right? But I will show them to you. Right, that looks like it could sharpen a fish hook, definitely. Right, so by the time this is in production, it is likely that they will make more options. Now, so far, the most common requests have been for them to add more slots for longer tools. Okay, so in the future, they might come out with one that has 4 slots for longer tools. Or they might modify this. Also, people have been asking for a dedicated bit driver. So I expect that they will find a way to fulfill those requests, okay? Now mine also came with a Torx wrench, which you can use to adjust those screws if that becomes necessary. Alright YouTube, I am going to demonstrate some of the tools on this. Now I'm not going to demonstrate them all, but I am going to demonstrate some of them that I am most interested in, especially things like the scissors and the saw that a lot of my subscribers will definitely want to see. Alright, so let's just try out some of these tools. Alright, this is the cutting hook, first on some paracord. It is a very sharp hook, definitely. And now the cutting hook on seatbelt type material. Alright. Wow. It went right through. Here are the scissors. Got some paracord here. Alright, it cuts it cleanly. There you go. And here are those scissors on this strap. Well, there you go. A reamer is a tool for drilling or enlarging a hole. Alright, so, and I'm afraid that this might split, so I'm going to try to prevent that. It's been a while since I reviewed a multi-tool, but you know, good multi-tools don't come around all that often. Right? There's a lot of good knife companies out there, but there's only a few good multi-tool companies out there, right? Very few compared to the world of knives. Alright, this seems to be working well. This can also be used as a leather punch. Oh yeah. Again, I don't want this to crack. Okay, yeah, excellent. All right, so you see it went through. Okay, so we drilled a hole. Right? So that's the purpose of the reamer, so it worked well. All right, this knife is an Emerson CQC16 that I've had since 2008. Now you can adjust the pivot screws on an Emerson with a flathead, so let's just adjust that pivot screw a little bit. All right. All right, so we loosened it. Let's tighten it back down. Excellent. All right, so that's the flathead screwdriver. You know, one problem with multi-tool reviews, if you're also a knife reviewer, I can literally film 5 knife reviews in the time it takes to do one full review of a multi-tool, because some of these multi-tools now have so many different functions to demonstrate, right? So it's kind of a bad move for me to review multi-tools, like financially, but I don't care. I will always review multi-tools because I love multi-tools and I want to help you get good information about them. It's not bad. And here's that knife blade on a piece of a box. Now this is the best multi-tool I've seen in a long time. I mean, that concept is just gold. It's a little chilly at the creek today because we're here early. It's right around freezing, but it is going to warm up later. This is a sharp knife. You notice it does have what some people call the butter knife shape, but don't let that fool you. This will definitely cut. This will cut a fool. I got a lot of bushcrafters watching. That's, you know, why I do a lot of the like the wood saw, the reamer, and that's relevant to many of them. Alright, so this did an excellent job. If you had to carve or whittle with this. Alright, it's a pretty fast saw. Alright, there we go. Alright, so after a few seconds, we sawed this nice groove into that piece of wood with the saw, so just for little projects, it's pretty good. This is my 4 directions bushcraft fire steel. I like to be able to use the spine of a saw as a scraper and a striker. So let's try that out. Alright, here we go. Wow. Well, that was quick. Excellent. This is a serrated blade. Here is a strap if you need to use this as a rescue cutter. Took some force, but it ripped through. And here is that serrated blade on bike tire tubing. And again, we're going to try and rip through. There you go. Alright, here are the wire cutters on some copper wire. There you go. And here are those wire cutters on some more difficult, this is triple strand cable wire. Alright. Let's see what this does. Well, there you go. And of course you can use them to grip things, right, to hold something in place, or to turn it like so. I've been on here for about 12 years. 9 out of 10 gear reviewers that were here when I started have long since quit. And from what I've seen of the new gear reviewers, about 9 out of 10 of them quit within the first year. How can we prevent that? Well, support, 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 right? You have to do everything you can to support your gear reviewers that you like. That means liking, commenting, sharing, adding to playlists, right? As well as turning on notifications. And if there are affiliate links below the video, do your normal shopping through those links, right? There's also super thanks, right? So you can directly support gear reviewers, but all of those actions will help ensure that the guys you like don't one day they leave like many of the others. Now me personally, I have a rule against quitting. I never quit. I might slow down, but believe me, YouTube will quit before I do. Like, this platform will just go down in flames before I do. I promise you that. So final initial thoughts on the Roxon Flex. It's an excellent concept, and so far I like how they're implementing it. But so far, this is definitely on the right track. I mean, this is very promising. Yeah, I have to give props to Roxon because it would have been so easy for them to do what these other brands do. Just buy a cheap generic multi-tool from that same factory that makes all those multi-tools for all those brands and just stomp their logo on it and sell it for $19.95. But they chose to do something different, something bold. They chose to develop their own, right? And so we have this. Now, because this is so new, I don't have any information about the pricing, right? So that's going to have to be worked out. But knowing Roxon, it will definitely be a lot less than you would have to pay if it were a company like Leatherman or Victorinox, right? Because they've already given us really good prices in the past on their other models. Well, okay, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like reviews of knives, multi-tools, air guns, hatchets, machetes, swords, and all kinds of stuff, subscribe to my channel.